if she would lead us in the pledge. And we have a Pastor Tom Barthel of the Rock of Ages Lutheran Church that has the invocation, but he's not able to attend, so I will read that for him. Go ahead.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You, Lord God, have blessed our county with land and people, riches and resources, riches of life. In your mercy and love, you have provided law and order. You have provided all those who govern and direct the affairs of our land. Thank you for our county courts, safety officials, and all who serve us, and bring us blessings day and night by their diligence and oversight in Gila County. We humbly ask that you would give wisdom to Board of Supervisors as they meet this day. Guide and bless all their efforts to serve the people of our county. Instill in the people of our county an attitude of thanksgiving for all your gifts. Unite the people of our county so that justice and peace might prosper. Help us to speak up for the lowly, to defend the injured, to protect the vulnerable among us. Help us to wisely use all your gifts for the good of all and not for selfish gain. Let your Holy Spirit fill the hearts of the people of our county. By his working, let all the people of our county know and trust in your Son, and so that in him they might carry out their task each day with the strength, patience, love, and endurance that you provide. Lord God Almighty, I humbly ask that you might give our county and its supervisors hearts molded after your Son, Christ Jesus. Forgive each of us for the times we failed to carry out our duties, and renew us today as we trust in you. In Jesus' name, amen. Item 2A. I will call for a motion to recess as the Gila County Board of Supervisors and convene as the Gila County Library District Board of Directors.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Two movements, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have information, discussion, and action to ratify the Library District Board of Directors' approval for the submission of the Saddlebrook Community Outreach Enrichment Program application by the Gila County Library District in the amount of $7,000 and accept funding in the amount of $7,000 designated to Gila County for the Hayden Public Library for the period of September 1, 2024 to December 31, 2024. Good morning, Elaine.
Good morning, Chairman Christensen, Supervisor Klein, Supervisor Humphrey. I come before you this morning to approve the Saddlebrook Community Outreach application and grant in the amount of $7,000 for the Hayden Public Library. This grant is for those groups in the Copper Corridor to help enrich and provide opportunities for kids to succeed. The funds received from this grant will enable the library to provide additional programming, events, and a variety of collection items to supplement early childhood literacy, civic and community engagement, and quality education. The Library District requests the Board of Directors ratify the approval for submission and accept the funding in the amount of $7,000. I'll answer any questions.
Well, thank you very much, Elaine. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions. Elaine, thank you.
Supervisor Klein.
Elaine, thanks for doing this. This will help.
Definitely will help.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And with that, I will call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to ratify the Library District Board of Directors' approval for the submission of the Saddlebrook Community Outreach Enrichment Program application by the Gila County Library District and accept funding designated to Gila County for the Hayden Public Library as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. 2B, information, discussion, action to authorize the submission of a state fiscal year 2025 state grants in aid application by the Gila County Library District in the Arizona State Library Archives and Public Records Library Development Division, and subsequent acceptance of a grant award to Gila County in the amount of $25,000 for the period of July 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025. Elaine.
Thank you again. This is our yearly state grants and aid from the Arizona State Library. Again, these funds for this year are $25,000. The Library District will keep $7,000, or about 28%, that we'll use at the district level to supplement things like movie licensing, wireless printing, training, and promotional items for each of the 7 affiliates and 1 branch. The remaining funds of $18,000, or approximately 72%, will be equally distributed between the affiliates and the branch libraries. They use this to help supplement their budgets on things, for instance, for summer reading that they can't usually buy. So this really helps them to be able to produce those awesome programs. We ask that the library, that you accept the authorization of submission and accept the state grants and aid in the amount of $25,000.
Very good. Thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
No, other than just thank you for applying for these and helping get everything you can. Appreciate it very much.
Supervisor Klein.
Same goes with me, Elaine, thanks.
Thank you, Elaine. With that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize the submission of the state financial year 2025 state grants in aid application by the Gila County Library District to the Arizona State Library Archives and Public Records, Library Development Division, and subsequent acceptance of the grant awarded as presented.
And I will second that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you,
Thank you very
Elaine.
much.
Now I'll call for a motion to adjourn as the Gila County Library District Board of Directors and reconvene as the Gila County Board of Supervisors.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 2C, information discussion action to approve service agreement number 071124 with C&M Communications LLC in the amount of not to exceed $65,811.60 for the Gila County Sheriff's Office 800 megahertz radio equipment. Good morning, Mr. Newman.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. This is a request for the approval of a service agreement because the service agreement for year 2024 has expired. That one was set up to not to exceed $50,000. At the time, the reason that amount was set was the number of radios that we had, because per radio it cost us $25 per radio per month to continue on with this service. Since that time, we have added more radios through not only increase in the number of radios that we need because of staffing, but also taking on the costs for our volunteer groups. That would be the posses, search and rescue. They also have some of their own. So now the amount of radios that we actually have is up to 202 currently. So that's going to raise the amount of what it costs for us to operate the radios from 50,000 up to 65,000. So this, we're asking that you approve this new service agreement with C&M for the cost not to exceed $65,811.60. I'll take questions.
Thank you, Under Sheriff. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions. You need to communicate for sure.
Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dennis, thank you. I do have a question for you. On this particular deal, we're talking about the 800 megahertz radios. That's what you guys have always had, isn't it?
No, sir, it hasn't.
No? These are the newer ones?
Yeah, these are the brand newer ones. The actually Kenwood, what we had before were several different outfits, but they operated off of VHF frequencies, and that's what our mountaintop.
Okay, so I have a question, and Joe can correct me if I'm out of line, but further down our agenda, we're gonna have a deal on some other radios for your posse. That's the Kenwood NX 5400 K2. Are those all compatible with that? I mean, can you guys talk back and forth all right?
Yes, sir. That's the reason that the system that we have, anybody that would want to come on board with us has to buy a specific radio in order for it to function. It would be like if we were talking Motorola. If we were on a Motorola Hilltop system for all of their digital
Right.
repeaters and stuff, you would have to have equipment compatible with that to work on their system.
Right.
So this is similar.
And so, in the past, we have dealt with the fire departments a lot on different, I don't know how many radios we've purchased, to be honest with you. But those are all compatible with what you guys have as well, right?
If they're 800 megahertz, and I know that Globe Fire Department is on board with us as well as Globe PD. Now, naturally, they pay their own $25 per month per radio fee, but it's the same system that we're working off of with the different Hilltop repeaters that C&M provides us that these radios will tie into that. So it's very specific in the equipment that you have to be compatible with what C&M offers.
Okay, thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Supervisor. Yeah, Dennis, so it is important we stay compatible. I think there's been radios purchased for the Pine Strawberry Fire Department. They're compatible and an upgrade. The Tono Rim Search and Rescue as well. And I think we're looking right now at Water Wheel Fire Department for some upgrades. And so it's important that everybody kind of communicates.
Yes, sir. Yeah. In all of my years of law enforcement, always anytime you have any type of an operation, one of the first things that comes up in a debriefing is, man, communications was terrible. Now we actually have a system that functions, and I hear very few complaints about this system. So for us, it's a win-win.
Great. Appreciate you being here today. So with that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve service agreement number 071124 with C&M Communications LLC as presented.
And Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion to approve and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimous.
Thank you.
Next item is 2D, information discussion action to approve amendment number 4 to contract number 050420 with Westwood Pharmacy to increase the contract amount by $20,000 for a new contract amount of $95,000 for the contract term September 1, 2023 to August 31, 2024 due to the increase of the number of inmates and serious medical issues and increased cost. Mr. Fulton.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, board members. I ask that you approve amendment number 4, 20,000. Originally, the amendment was at 75. Due to the outstanding bills, the 20,000 will cover the price from September 1st, 2023 to August 31, 2024.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions.
Supervisor Klein.
What kind of increase have you had in your inmates in jail then? It looks like it went up significantly from the past.
The population of the jail fluctuates between 125 and 140 inmates.
Okay. And then all your pharmacy, this is with Westwood Pharmacy. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So with that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve amendment number 4 to contract number 050420 with Westwood Pharmacy as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also then have item 2E, information discussion action to authorize the advertisement of request for proposal number 073024 pharmacy services for Gila County Detention Medical for the Gila County Detention Center. Mr. Fulton.
Yes, sir. We'd like to put out an advertisement so we can get the best quality and care for the inmates at a reasonable price for the county.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
I just want to say thank you for putting it out for proposal. So that's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Klein.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you. So are we getting any interest locally for pharmacy services? CVS, Walmart, Fry's, whatever?
No, sir.
They have never bid on this, or?
Not that I know. No,
They
sir.
do get a copy of the?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So with that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize the advertisement of request for proposals number 073024.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Item 2F, information discussion action to approve the use of a state contract, CTR 063770, with Iron Mountain Information Management LLC in the amount of $211,190.53 for the digitization of assessor parcel records. Good morning, Micah.
Good morning, Chairman Christensen, Supervisor Humphrey, and Supervisor Klein. I'm here today to ask for your approval in the revised contract with Iron Mountain Information Management LLC for the digitization contract in the amount of $211,190 $211,190.53. Earlier this year in March, I had asked for your approval in the digitization contract in the amount of $114,172.95. In May, Iron Mountain personnel arrived to pick up the files from our vault with an estimation that it would require about 250 boxes. The original estimate was underestimated and would only have resulted in about a third of the digitization of the files in our vault. We have since had different personnel from Iron Mountain on 2 separate occasions inspect our vault to confirm that this new estimate is accurate. The new contract has been revised to reflect a change in the same number of vault files, 36,000, but with an average of 35 pages per file, with an estimated 1,512,000 images instead of the originally estimated 36,000 files with an average of only 14.8 pages per file and a total number of 638,323 images. The wide format and the microfiche portion of this digitization contract have been estimated to be the same. I apologize for having to bring this contract back to you for an increased amount, but the need for this digitization project remains and will still allow us to work seamlessly between our Globe and Payson offices while allowing a safe and secure backup of the assessor vault files that are used daily. The project funds will still come from ARPA, and I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, okay, so the funds are coming from ARPA. Just a question, on them taking all of your files and stuff, is there any liability for them for any loss of files or
They
things
have
of that
several
nature? Because I mean, you
redundancies.
take 200 boxes somewhere and digitize it, I mean, golly, what if something doesn't
They
go
have
right?
several redundancies in place to minimize any potential loss. There is always that slight chance that the truck that's involved will be in a wreck. But without the digitization process, if we were to have a fire or a flood or something, we would be losing those files as well that way.
Right,
So,
yeah, I understand that loss, I was just wondering
Sure.
if there, liability, if there's anything in a contract such as that for loss or misplaced files.
I'm not exactly sure on what the actual in the event that were to occur, what the contract outlines, but they have assured that their processes are filled with redundancies to help avoid that issue.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Klein. Oh, sure.
For this contract, the county relied on the state of Arizona contract with Iron Mountain, because they originally, solicited, this work. And so that is covered in the state contract that we take advantage of by utilizing that same contract.
Okay.
With negotiating with the state of Arizona.
Oh.
And in the process, one of the things that delayed us somewhat is to assure that everything that is digitized complies with library and archives regulations regarding digitization of permanent records. All that has been accomplished.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Klein.
Micah, thanks. It's a big job, but it'll really be nice when it's all done compared to having these boxes filed Lord only knows where. And so that's good. So thank you for doing all
We've
that.
been sitting with them when cardboard, the portion that they did pack up, we've been dealing out of cardboard boxes for the last 2 months. So I'm sure the staff will be happy to see the cardboard boxes go and have it available online. So,
Yeah, thank you.
all right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Micah. I'm glad we don't have to take it out of your retirement fund. We still have,
Thank you.
we still have some ARPA money. That's great. So with that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve contract number CTR 063770 with Iron Mountain Information Management LLC as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Micah. Item 2G is information discussion action to adopt policy number BOS-ADM-003, electronic signatures. Good morning, Mr. O'Driscoll.
Chairman, members of the board, good morning. I am pleased to present this electronic signature policy to the board. So we might be able to move a little bit, use current technology to become more efficient, save some money in printing, and especially allow some of the departments electronic signatures in place of what we call wet signatures, but they're the written signatures. So if you can imagine, there's a lot of delay between getting a contract to a contractor. If we use written signatures, we send it through mail, wait for them to sign it, they send it back. So there's a big delay. So a policy like this would allow the department directors and the elected officials to choose to use this policy, implement it within their operations to become more efficient as we move forward in this technological world we're in. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Humphrey.
Well, I don't much care for the technology world, but if you think it's a good thing, I trust you. So, okay, yeah, no, I'm good.
Supervisor Klein?
So Michael, that means with the stroke of a key, you can put my signature on whatever?
Not me, sir. I'd be breaking the policy rules here.
I got you. Oh, this will be good, and you promise it's gonna speed up the process, right?
In the departments I manage, I promise that, sir.
Okay, I'll hold you to it. Thank you.
So, Michael, my question is then, how do we maintain the legitimacy of a signature if someone else is, like, say, my signature, am I involved in that electronic transaction?
So the cool thing about the technology is currently we use this program called Adobe Sign. And if we send a contract to a contractor to sign through email, is typically how you do it, we're able to track when that email gets there, who opens up the email, when they sign it, validate the signature, and when they send it back. It's a nifty report that Adobe Sign attaches to all these electronic signatures, so we can verify at any given time.
I see. Okay. That's helpful. Okay, so with that, I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt policy number BOS-ADM-003.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 2H, information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 4 to an intergovernmental agreement between Gila County and Pinal County, whereby Pinal County will continue providing medical examiner services for an additional year from July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Good morning, Maren.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Supervisor Humphrey, Supervisor Klein. This is the final renewal of this contract, and we would just like to renew it for another year.
Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions.
Supervisor Klein.
Maren, do you think they're gonna be interested in going on after this contract, like with another new contract? Have they indicated, or?
Oh, our current conversation is about the current contract.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maren. And with that, I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve amendment number 4 to an intergovernmental agreement with Pinal County as presented.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, Maren.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if I could just comment on Pinal County. Pinal County is a very good partner with us and always willing to partner with us and help us out and work with us. So
Good.
ongoing contracts, I see no issues with those at all.
Thank you for that. And item 2I, information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 3 to an intergovernmental agreement contract number CTR 060267 with the Arizona Department of Health Services, which extends the contract to July 30th, 2025 for the Bridge Access Program funding not to exceed $199,342 to be used until June 30th, 2025 for the continued provision of COVID-19 vaccination services to the uninsured adults. Paula Horn.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Today I bring this contract back to you. In November of 2022, we actually received this funding to provide COVID vaccines. It is an additional amount to our immunization funding to provide uninsured and underinsured free COVID vaccine. And they're giving us an additional year because honestly, the COVID vaccines have not been going out the door as quickly as they were before. So we're still using a lot of outreach approaches to ensure that everyone who wants a shot is able to get it in Gila County. So we're given another year to spend the money in order to get those shots back out into the community. So I'll take any questions or.
Okay, thank you, Paula. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions.
Supervisor Klein?
So it seems like, Paula, the COVID vaccine's kind of winding down as far as vaccinations go.
We haven't had as much response.
Yeah. So then when it's all said and done, what are you gonna do with all the vaccine that's left over?
Actually, at this point, they're still allowing the waste of vaccine, but when it comes to probably another year, then vaccine will have to be determined whether we're using it or not using it, because we can be sanctioned for not using it, for unused. And actually, if it comes out of our private stock, we'll be the one that pays for it. So trying to make it, so that they're going to be using multi-dose is no longer a thing. They're actually giving us syringes, which helps out a lot with some of the vaccines. So that way you don't have, 10 that you're wasting, So hopefully we'll get single use or single dose.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Paula. So with that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve amendment number 3 to Arizona Department of Health Services Intergovernmental Agreement Contract Number CTR 060267 as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. 2J, information discussion action to approve the budget increase of $1,218,225.30 for the additional paving on Houston Mesa Road project contingent upon the Arizona Department of Transportation's approval of the change order and contingent as well on the town of Payson's portion of the project and contingent upon the town of Payson's approval to pay for their portion. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board members. So this is a request to approve an increase on the Houston Mesa Road project by $1,218,225.30, and that includes some contingencies. So a little background on this. The Houston Mesa Road project is underway. It's been underway now for several months. It's being administered by ADOT. This was initiated as a federal aid safety project, HSIP, which stands for Highway Safety Improvement Program. And the original IGA was executed between Gila County and ADOT back in October of 2022. So the work that's underway is, again, it's a safety project, and what we're doing is we're paving 5-foot shoulders and installing centerline rumble strips and edge line rumble strips. And that goes all the way from the intersection with 260 to all the way up to National Forest Route 198. So it's about over 4 miles. So the beginning of the project is actually in the town of Payson. And that's at the cattle guard there with 87, and it runs for 0.62 miles. And that work is also underway with the town of Payson. However, the contract is between Gila County and ADOT, as I mentioned earlier. So the initial budget did not account for any paving cost other than the shoulders. However, we have determined that the road itself, which is 24 feet wide, 2 12-foot lanes, is in very poor condition and requires, to make it a good safety project, we need to go ahead and pave the 24-foot lanes. The original plans called for saw cutting along the edge and then just paving the shoulders. However, ADOT and Gila County have looked at it, and with all the alligator cracking and the saw cutting would just make things worse, make it very difficult to pave it because you'd have sections breaking out, and it would just be a big mess to pave it that way. So again, so what we've looked at is after a lot of consultation with ADOT and with the contractor, they came back and gave us a proposal to go ahead and pave the, both 12-foot lanes for the entire length of the project. And that's what the budget increase would cover, the $1,218,225.30. Again, the contractor gave us that estimate, and the way that would take place is the contractor would mill a depth of 6 to 8 inches, mix that subgrade material in with the asphalt that would be milled up, compact it, and then come in and lay 3 inches of asphaltic concrete on top of that compacted surface. If we decide not to do this, so there's some options here. We can approve the additional funding, or we cannot approve the funding. That would reduce in a poorer quality for the project, or we could approve a lesser amount. So what we're here today is to ask for this budget increase, and be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tom. Supervisor Humphrey.
Well, this budget increase of $1,218,000, where's that funding? Is that, where's that funding?
That would come out of either HERF or transportation excise.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of silly to redo the edges and not the middle of the road if the middle of the road is having issues. So, yeah, I think it's, I think it would be better to do it all at the same time instead of piece it and have great sides of the road so they can pull off after they blow a tire because the road's no good. Anyway, so I think that would be a better project if we do the road and the edges at the same time. So anyway, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Klein.
So, you might as well come to the podium, Homer. So, we spend this extra over $1 million on this project. What's it gonna do to any of our other scheduled or proposed projects?
Very good question. First of all, this is not a done deal. ADOT needs to approve the change order, and that's critical. We're working with them. We entered the year, in a previous work session, I shared with you that we had $15 million in accrual. And the reason for that $15 million, a big reason, was that we have not incurred some of the human resource costs that we had because we couldn't hire folks. And so over the many years, we saved up money. We entered the year actually with $16 million, not 15. It went up a little bit. And we had created, coming into the year, a contingency for something like this. And one of the benefits of this project, and hopefully ADOT will agree to the change order, is that we're using some of the pulverized material on the shoulders. And so it's the total project that is $5 million, because if we have to do this on our own, if ADOT says no to the change order, we're gonna tell ADOT, you stop the shoulders and let us go do the 2 travel lanes first, because the rumble strips are supposed to be on the edges of the shoulder and in the middle of the road. And there's no sense in ADOT putting a rumble strip down the middle of that road, because we're gonna obliterate it in no time, either with a full pavement or a double chip seal or something. We need to do something with that road. So we're using money that we've accrued over time. It's a project that if we can get it done this way, it'll be less costly and timely. We can get it done this fall. If this falls apart, we're looking probably at a spring project with us coming back to the board, advertising the work for the 2 travel lanes, etc. The reason we're going to ADOT is because they're administering the fund 100%. It's their contract. Okay? We have nothing to do with that contract. They're the ones that hired the contract company. So we have the money in our funds. We've actually budgeted a contingency amount for something like this. And I think it'd be, hopefully we can finalize this project with a change order and this budget increase.
So, Homer, in here, there's a contingent on Payson paying for their portion. Is that a done deal? I mean, are they gonna pay for their part of it, or is that still up in the air?
It's still up in the air, both with ADOT and with Payson. We've had glimmers of yes, but no, no certain yes. I believe that Payson will probably march forward with what we're doing. The material that's gonna be pulverized, when we first envisioned this project and wrote this board item, it was 6 inches. The contractor has agreed with ADOT that they would pulverize an additional 2 inches throughout the whole section. And that helps Payson because they feel that the road would be of a condition that it needs to be with that additional pulverization. So again, we don't know for certain. We can march forward without Payson agreeing to do their section. We will blend in both, at that section, we'll blend one elevation to the next. And we can march forward without Payson paying their 0.6 miles of this 4.6 mile project.
So we would just take over and pay for their part of it?
No.
Okay,
We would not pave their project.
we'd start after theirs and go on with ours.
They would pave it later on in time.
Okay, answer me this. Was there a specific reason why you decided to go ahead and grind this up rather than just chipping over the top of what you got? I've been over that road quite a bit. I'm curious.
That we did an all afternoon site visit out there, and there is a lot of alligatoring. There's actually some sections that are subgrade is failing. We would have to do more than chip seal in the very near future. By the way, I did go back and look at the last chip seal that we did. We actually hired a company, Pima Paving, to chip seal it back in 2019 or thereabouts. Mm-hmm. And at that time we did some subgrade patching. But in that short period of time, I think that's 5 years, it's actually deteriorated to the point where we would need to do something more than chip seal.
So in this contract, is there some subgrade improvement going to be done as well?
We have a contingency built into this. There's a couple of sections that need the subgrade improvement.
Okay, thank you, Homer.
So I would be shocked if Payson did not participate in this project, first of all, because we're not going to pave their 0.6 miles, and
Correct.
that will be, that would not fare well with the people that use that road. Mm-hmm. And I think if we can purchase 4.5 miles of pavement for $1,200,000, we're getting a pretty good bargain.
Yes.
In fact, if we can buy that rate, we'll start paving a lot more. So this road fixed up this way with this approval will outlast all of our tenure on the board.
Yes.
It's gonna last a long time.
Yeah, with routine maintenance, it should last 15 to 20 years.
Right, and if we just keep patching, then it's like Gibson Ranch Road. We're gonna be doing that one too, but it's just nothing but patchwork. It's just all coming unglued, so. Okay, so if there's nothing else, then I will call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve the budget increase of $1,218,225.30 for additional paving on the Houston Mesa Road project contingent upon the Arizona Department of Transportation's approval of the change order and the town of Payson's portion of the project and contingent upon the town of Payson's approval to pay for their portion.
Before I second that, with Payson put into that motion, if Payson doesn't, is that going to affect us going ahead with the project?
Chief Deputy Sabelli specifically amended the contract to approve. Chief Deputy Sabelli specifically amended the contract to put those two contingencies in. And so if either contingency fails, then the contract will have to be renegotiated.
Okay, just a question. Thank you, Joe. Okay, I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this item as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 2K, information discussion action to authorize the advertisement for invitation for bid number 080724, Russell Gulch Channel Improvement Project. Mr. Kendrick.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Board of Supervisors. Thank you for having me. So this is we're requesting your authorization to do an invitation for bid for the Russell Gulch Channel Improvement Project. If you recall, we were before you about 2 meetings ago to present all of the drainage and temporary construction easements. So I apologize that we didn't have all this bundled together into one meeting. That being said, this project is the Russell Gulch Improvement Project from Bessick Boulevard through just north of Hospital Drive, including the box culvert that is at Hospital Drive. This is all funded under DIFM Fund RR R27-00347. And this project will then improve that channel for better flow as a result of all the damage that was done from the Telegraph fire.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
If we're putting this out to bid, do we have the easements and stuff to proceed with this project if we do get it bid? Because then if we get it bid and somebody gives us a price and we don't have easements and it takes 6 months for an easement, then the price is gonna go up and change and those kind of things, so.
Yes, so that's what I was saying. So we brought the easements before you, before we brought this before you.
Okay.
So those were approved at the meeting 2 meetings ago.
Excellent, great for thinking ahead, good job. No further questions.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Klein.
So once this channel once it's put back where it needs to be and the channel is established and all that, are we gonna be able to pioneer some kind of a road around there we can start using, or what's gonna happen then?
So, yeah, you'll have Bestridge Boulevard on the south and Hospital Drive on the north, and we will restore the box culvert on Hospital Drive, so that will be actually a better road than it was.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Alex. With that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize the advertisement invitation for bid number 080724.
And I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. And we have another one, 2L, information discussion action to adopt resolution number 24-0901, which authorizes the execution of intergovernmental agreement number 24-00097775I between Gila County and the State of Arizona Department of Transportation for scoping services, 30% design plans and estimates for the future replacement of the existing Bloody Hanks Wash Bridge, number 1950, at Schultz Ranch Road.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Board. So this is the second of the off-system bridge grant applications that I applied for this year. The first one being the Tonto Village Bridge replacement that you guys approved 2 meetings ago as well. This one is not 100% federally funded like that one. This one requires a 5.7% local match. And the reason we have this before you is many of our older bridges, such as the Schultz Ranch Bridge here, we have no plan for how to replace them when they're failing. And this bridge currently is in fair condition. In the next few years, it'll probably move into a poor condition. And so this $141,450 grant, with us paying $8,550 of that, will get us the information we need to be able to present before any sort of grants opportunities in the future with ideas of how we can actually get this bridge replaced. So this is a real good deal for us, because then we get all of the scoping and up to a 30% plan in place so that we can present that before ADOT or Federal Highways for another grant in the future to get this bridge replaced.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
Thank you for looking ahead on some of these instead of all of a sudden have emergencies. Thank you for planning ahead a little bit.
Supervisor Klein.
So Alex, this will put all the paperwork we need ahead of replacing that bridge when we have to replace it. That's what you're saying. All the design and everything will all be done and up to snuff?
So this will only be up to a 30% design, which is enough to apply for the grants.
Okay.
Most grants you can't apply for if you don't have at least a 30% design.
Okay. All right. And where did that money come from? Was that DIFM money?
So no, this is a Arizona grant.
Okay.
It's called
Gotcha.
the Off-System Bridge Program.
Yeah. All right. And our match on that's about $8,000?
$8,550.
Okay, thanks.
I don't have any questions, so with that, I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number 240901.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion to approve and seconded. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you.
Thank
you, Alex. Come on up. Yeah, we have, our next item is item 2M, and it's information discussion action to approve economic development agreement number 07262024 between Gila County and Northern Gila County 4-H Community Club, and that's the Arizona 4-H Youth Foundation, in the amount of $3,750 to support and establish a new 4-H shooting sports club in Northern Gila County, which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public. And this is my item, and so we're using constituent funds to provide equipment for Northern Gila County Shooting Club. So please, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Molly Griffin, and we have, you can say your names.
Ryan
Get
Guy,
closer to the thing.
Ryan Guy Wagner.
Stevie Wagner, and they are 4-H participants in Northern Gila County and Southern Gila County shooting sports. It's our aim for this. Good morning, Chairman Christensen and Supervisor Humphrey and Mr. Klein. Supervisor Klein, sorry. It is our aim for this funding to purchase equipment to establish this program in Northern Gila County and send our volunteers to trainings to get them certified as shooting sports leaders. We already have a handful in the process or have already been through the process to become certified 4-H leaders. So we should be ready to go in October. And it's our aim to get that program going with the new 4-H year.
Fantastic. So Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions other than thank you. It's great to see this expand, and I know it's been successful and the kids have had a great time. So it's great to see this grow. And so I would think up there you won't have any difficulty in finding someone to help teach and help organize a lot of that as well. So I think it's a great thing. I love supporting the kids.
Thank you.
Supervisor Klein.
Molly, thank you. And are you guys participating with the club down here as well right now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? You had quite a few meetings and shoots on that?
Yep, I got, this year I got to go to nationals.
When's that coming up?
That comes up, I believe.
They went in June, so he's already back
Okay.
from that trip.
Okay, cool. Good deal. And so on the Northern Club, how many kids do you think we're gonna have up there?
We have interest from a handful right now. They did an outreach event in Tractor Supply a few months ago, and there was a lot of folks interested, and they were talking about getting this program started. We have one leader that's already through the process, and a few more that are getting started, including one that was a leader previously when we had a shooting sports program up there. So at this time, I'd say we have a dozen interested, and we hope that grows over time. So
Yeah.
and the problem is you have to have one leader per 7 members, and so as you grow, you have to continue to get more leaders in that club. So not really a problem; it's a good problem, I guess. But
Yeah, if I remember right, I think you had quite a bit of interest in volunteers up there.
yeah, we have a
So-
handful. Dr. Drew Justice is the vet up there, and he was a leader, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago, and he's interested in coming back, and so we're getting him through the process right now, and some other folks.
So the club up there, Molly, will be able to use the Jim Jones shooting range to do their meetings and shoots in?
Yeah, we have an agreement with them, or we're working on an agreement with them already, where they're happy for us to practice there whenever we need to. Dr. Justice is willing to let us practice on his property. He has an arena to practice in. We're going to start with, I think, archery first, because there's already kids that are kind of established in that, and then we're going to grow from there, but just a good foundation of where to start and what equipment to buy.
Okay, cool deal. So there's not gonna be any charge for you guys to use that Jim Jones shooting range, is there?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, if there is, you need to let me know.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys too.
Yeah, thank you, Molly. So yeah, it's exciting to think that we're going to add some things for our youth.
We're really excited for it.
And it's so exciting to have both of you here today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. And this, I think, is going to grow and be a great thing.
It's going to be neat.
All right, thank you. And with that, I will call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Economic Development Agreement number 07262024 with Northern Gila County 4-H Community Club, Arizona 4-H Youth Foundation as presented, which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
A motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much for
guys.
coming.
Thank you.
All right, next item is item 2N, information discussion action to approve economic development agreement number 08052024 between Gila County and the Globe Unified School District number 1 in the amount of $2,248.79 for the purchase of 8 microphones and body packs, which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public. Mr. Humphrey.
Yeah, they've come to me and for their plays and doing things of that nature, they would find these helpful to go forward and do their presentations and to do their drama club. And so, you know, with the background, funds are budgeted for supporting economic development achievements. Globe High School Drama Club is seeking the money, funding purchase 8 microphones. And contributions may be made to any governmental agency or to nonprofit corporations that enjoys and maintains federal tax entity exempt status as long as monies are utilized for the purpose determined. And so, like I say, anything I can do to help the kids, and if this will help them with their drama clubs and to be more efficient and to put on a better program, I think it's worthwhile. And so that's out of my constituent fund, so I'm gonna try to help them all I can.
Thank you, Supervisor Klein.
Yeah, no, that's good. If we can help them out, that's fine. I don't mind spending your money, Tim.
Yeah, as long as we get a nod, it's okay.
As long as we get a nod, yeah.
Well, then I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve Economic Development Agreement number 080-52024 with Globe Unified School District number 1, as presented with the board as determined to be for the benefit of the public.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Item 2O. Information discussion action to approve economic development agreement number 08042024 between Gila County and Gila County Sheriff's Posse and the Gila County Search and Rescue in the amount of $16,080.24 for the purchase of 16 new Kenwood NX 5400 K2 megahertz analog multi-protocol digital portable radios, including P25 Phase 2 compliant upgrade capability with high capacity batteries, antennas, desktop rapid chargers, active noise reduction microphones that will be used while conducting search and rescue in the rough terrain of Gila County and while assisting with evacuations as well as a patrol operations, all of which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public. This is your item again, Mr. Humphrey.
Yeah, I was asked by the sheriff posse because the sheriffs keep upgrading their things to make it better, and so I was approached to see if we couldn't help the sheriff's posse in upgrading their equipment and things so that they can communicate with the sheriff's office and other emergency first responders as they go through and do their search and rescues and things. And so I thought it was a very worthwhile deal because a lot of our county has become recreational area. Just look at it on the weekends. And so communication is extremely important for everybody to be able to communicate, especially in an emergency situation. So I felt it was a good cause, and I do believe that all three of us pitched in on this deal. out of our contingent funds to help. So it's not just my deal. I'm doing the presentation, but I believe all three supervisors kind of put in the kitty to help with this project. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair. And if you'd like to
Yes.
say a few words.
Good morning, Board. If you have any questions, concerns on purchasing radios, it's kind of to help the sheriff's office as volunteers.
Tell us your name again, please.
Guy Peterson, I'm the commander of search and rescue and posse.
Yes, sir. Supervisor Klein.
So how many posse members do you have?
We have currently probably, last count, I had 13. In search and rescue, we have 12.
Okay.
So some of those are in both, so.
Okay, and that's between north and south?
That's just south.
So the radios that we're looking at will be for the members down here on the south end, or?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, and so what do the posse members use up there? They just have hand-me-downs or what?
They got some, and I think they purchased 12.
They've already purchased 12?
What I've heard is they got a grant from, I think the casino or somebody. They bought them radios.
Okay, all right, that's all.
So.
Thank you. Remind me, Melissa, do we have a request for radios up north for the posse? We're already, yeah, I can't remember what I'm doing at all, so.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for all that information.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're happy to help our search and rescue and all of the volunteer members. So with that, I will call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve economic development grant number 08042024 with the Gila County Sheriff's Posse and the Gila County Search and Rescue as presented, which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, Mr.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item 3 is our consent agenda items. We have items A through L. Would Supervisor Humphrey, would you like to remove one or more of the consent agenda items to discuss separately?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. How about you, Supervisor Klein?
I only had one question really for either one of you. We have an appointment of Ms. Teresa Hunt as JP pro tempore. So does anybody know her? Did either one of you know her? I don't either. Okay. That's all I had.
Do we need to pull that out to discuss more?
Nope.
Okay. Then I'll call for a motion to approve consent agenda items A through L.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I'll second the so moved.
Okay, we have a motion to approve all consent agenda items. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Call to the public. Anyone here in Globe that wishes to speak from the public? And Lisa? Okay, thank you. Cassandra? How many do we have on there today? 25. Did you say last week we had like 70 something? Yeah. Yeah, okay, great. All right, then we'll move on to the next item, number 5, which is our current event summaries. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I want to report that last week I was able to attend the League of Arizona Cities and Towns annual conference. Good conference in that I was able to make contact with all of the municipalities in Gila County, be able to spend time with each of them and their elected officials. There's a lot of elected officials from Star Valley, Payson, Globe, and Miami that were there, and so it's a good opportunity to compare notes and things that we're all working on together. And in next week, I believe it is that Gila County will be represented at the NACO PILT, Fly-In Payment in Lieu of Taxes. That's an important thing that we have representation there to go visit with our congressmen and senators to express appreciation to them for the payment in lieu of taxes, which is to Gila County for over $4 million. and what that pays for in public safety and the different things we do at Hill County. So that is coming up next week. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Humphrey.
I'll hold a Tonto Basin community meeting tonight at 5. Held a Gila community meeting on the 31st at 9 a.m. and I want to thank staff very much for participating with a slideshow and things of that nature to go over more of what, you know, went on with the road and where we're going forward with that to let the community know. And so I appreciate staff very much for being there, taking time on a weekend to come and present with me. I was supposed to be on KMOG radio on Monday. I had some family things come up and I was unable to be on KMOG. And I think I haven't been on there a year. I tried to get on there for multiple months and was unable to. And then I finally got a slot and something came up and I was unable to be there. I'll hold a Roosevelt community meeting on the 9th at 1 o'clock. And I'll be on KQSS on September the 9th at 5:30. And I won't be going to Washington again. I have some things going on with family. And so James will be representing us. I was gonna go and schedule, but had to cancel. And so I won't be able to go, but I'm sure James will do efficient on getting us covered and talking to the people that we need to. So that's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Klein.
James, thanks for going. Yeah, that's a pretty important deal, so thanks for going to that. I don't have a lot going on. Right now, we got a meeting coming up in about 10, 12 days, and I've asked Kathy to attend that one for me. It's with the Coalition of Counties, and it's a workshop on how to go about updating our county land use plan. So other than that, I've still been kind of just hanging out for a little while longer. But thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, you're very welcome, and I don't have a lot to report either, other than I did fill the slot at KMOG yesterday, and that went well. Had a lot of call-ins, and it's always enjoyable to talk about the county and the positive things that we do here in the county. I think we do a great job running the county and our finances and all of the things. So proud to be a part of that. Mr. Menlove.
Can I report on one more thing, that the Pleasant Valley Veterans Retreat, the annual gala, that is coming, it's not 14th, so not this Saturday, the Saturday after, that event is sold out. And so we're thrilled, and thank you to all those, Kathy, Supervisor Klein, and everyone else that has done so much work with that sold out event, and it was sold out a week or two ago, so several weeks in advance, which doesn't happen very often. Great event. We're looking forward to a week from Saturday. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. I'm not going to be able to attend that due to a conflict, so I hope that goes just as well or better than last year. And let's see, there was something else I was going to mention, but, well, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's sold out. I don't think I have a ticket. I didn't know if we were having it, so I guess I won't be attending either if it's sold out. So anyway, if you don't see me there, it's because I didn't know and didn't get a ticket for it sold out.
The Northern Gila County Fair does start this Friday, through Friday and Saturday. So we're looking forward to that at the Event Center and also the Tonto Tribe buildings there in Payson. So that summarizes that. So our next item, if there's nothing else, is item 6A. It's an executive session item, information, discussion, action to vote to go into executive session pursuant the state statute for discussion and consultation for legal advice regarding the 2024 general election ballot number of pages, paper size, design, and content. With that, I will call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to convene into executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 for discussion and consultation for legal advice regarding the 2024 general election ballot number of pages, paper size, design, and content.
And I'll second that.
Motion and a second to dismiss into executive session. Those in favor say aye.
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 I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries unanimous. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.